big eyes on my mother and says, and why did you? And my mother goes, and why did we do what? The woman says, why did you follow his orders? Why didn't one of you from the third floor grab a piano, a chair, a cupboard, anything, and you would have thrown on the head of that accursed Nazi and you would have run? Can you hear macho Israel talking? Can you hear know-it-all Israel talking? My mom didn't know how to address the question. What is this woman thinking? Partisans and forests? This is downtown Budapest. Where would an Orthodox family run to? In broad daylight in Nazi-occupied downtown Budapest. Who would harbor them? This woman is thinking probably forests, whatever. But is she going to argue? She arrived last week with a backpack of 20 pounds. This is all she had in the world. She's pregnant. These people gave her shelter, work, food, medical treatment, a good place to raise the baby. Is she gonna argue? No. Shut up! Shut up! Story is retold 8.5 years later when the baby is not only born but 8 years old, and that's one of my first recollections of Mom telling me Holocaust stories. She thought I was old enough by then. And she explains how they used to live in that part of Budapest that was always Jewish, not because of the Nazis, etc. You know that. And then the summer of '44, one shot in the air, etc. You know the story. And then she adds one sentence for the proper upbringing of her Israel-born Sabra daughter. And the sentence is, and we were stupid enough to follow his orders. What did the state of Israel teach my mother in those 8.5 years? Guilt. That she didn't measure up. That it wouldn't have happened to Israelis. And to make sure that her daughter, at least, is not seen as such. Okay? Took me years after that, when I went into the field of Holocaust education, to ask Mom, maybe the Nazis had a little to do with that, not all the responsibility is yours, you know? Many, many talks. We leave them at that and we jump years ahead to the year 1959. Israel is already 11 years of age. And I'm taking you to the public arena. The Knesset, the parliament. Ben Gurion, your guy, is still prime minister. So that means a left-of-center government. Mapai, they were called, the party at the time, the Labour, still the Labour Party, only they were in the lead at the time. Still, no matter how great Ben Gurion was, he couldn't have a one-party government. He needed a coalition. And the coalition, or a gentleman like him, was the knitted kippot, okay? The modern Orthodox Zionist. Who is the head of the opposition to Ben Gurion's government at the time? Menachem Begin, right of center. I would say Republican-like, but then you immediately will start thinking abortions, and that was not on their agenda. But very conservative, very nationalistic, right of center. For the sake of the particular vote today, 1959, not really today, over 50 years ago, almost 52 years ago, the topic was not a major one. On what day of the Hebrew calendar is the state of Israel, and by virtue of that the rest of the Jewish world, going to commemorate the Holocaust? It's not a biggie, you say. Why does it have to come in front of the parliament? Why does it become political? Israel, everything is political. So let's follow the politics. Now remember, you were not great, you were great with the Satmar Rebbe. I want to see you perform better with Israeli politics. Let's say if you can rise to the occasion. What were the arguments?